it's Destiny, and today we're going over Dan Heng's kit, teams, builds, and more. Dan Heng is a free upcoming 5-star character that we will all be able to acquire very soon. Before we get into today's video, I'd love to know what was the most recent character you built in Honkai Star Rail. Lastly, if you enjoy videos like these, consider subscribing to see more content from me, leave a like to support the video, and now let's get straight into it. Let's begin with Dan Heng's kit. Dan Heng is an attack scaling physical preservation character who can provide powerful shields for the team, provide attack buffs for an ally, and also provides an ally on the team with a summon by making them the bondmate, which Dan Heng will then summon Soul Dragon for them. And this has some pretty cool benefits that we'll go over shortly. Starting off with Dan Heng's skill, he will make one ally character the bondmate and summon Soul Dragon for them. Counts as that ally now having a summon. His skill will only target one ally, but Dan Heng will be able to also provide all allies with a shield equal to 20% of his attack plus 400 for 3 turns. His shield effect can stack, but it cannot exceed 300% of the current shield provided by his skill. As for Soul Dragon can only be applied to one ally at a time, and will apply to the most recent ally targeted with his skill, which means if you would like to swap who is the bondmate and has Soul Dragon, you can use his skill on another ally. A pretty cool perk is that since Dan Heng is going to give an ally a summon by making them the bondmate, that means that any crit-based damage dealer can now benefit from the full effects of the Banana Planar set, which is great for the amount of crit damage this set will provide. Additionally, when using Dan Heng's skill, he will increase the attack of the ally who is the bondmate by an amount equal to 15% of his attack, thanks to one of his traces. As for what Soul Dragon does, when Soul Dragon takes action, it'll dispel a debuff from all allies, and provide shields equal to 10% of Dan Heng's attack plus 200 for 3 turns. One of Dan Heng's traces will further assist with this though, as when Soul Dragon takes action, Soul Dragon will additionally provide a shield that can offset damage equal to 5% of Dan Heng's attack plus 100 to the ally target whose current shield effect is the lowest. And when repeatedly receiving Dan Heng's shield, you can of course once again stack the shield effect, but you cannot exceed 300% of the current shield provided by his skill. And now moving on to Dan Heng's ultimate, his ultimate will deal damage onto all enemies, provide shields to all allies equal to 20% of Dan Heng's attack, and enhance Soul Dragon, which will now allow Soul Dragon to deal physical damage onto all enemies equal to 80% of Dan Heng's attack, and additional damage of the bondmate's type to all enemies equal to 80% of the bondmate's attack. Plus, with one of Dan Heng's traces, when Enhanced Soul Dragon takes action, will additionally deal 1 instance of additional damage of the bondmate's type to one enemy target whose current HP is the highest, equal to 40% of the bondmate's attack. This enhanced state will last for 2 Soul Dragon actions. Additionally, it is worth noting when the bondmate uses an attack, Dan Heng will be able to regenerate 6 energy and Soul Dragon will be advanced forward by 15%. This trace will also advance forward Dan Heng at the start of combat by 40%, allowing him to quickly take his first action in a fight. As for Dan Heng's technique, he will allow the character who initiates combat to become the bondmate without using any skill points. Dan Heng's mini traces will provide him 28% attack, 5 speed, and lastly 22.5% defense. Overall, Dan Heng will be able to provide excellent sustain for the team, provide an ally with a summon, deal damage with Soul Dragon's follow-up attacks, and provide the bondmate with an attack buff as well. Now, when it comes to team synergies, one of the major synergies that has to be mentioned is Dan Heng and Sunday alongside a damage dealer of your choice. Preferably an attack scaling damage dealer due to Dan Heng providing attack buffs. Since Dan Heng will make an ally the bondmate and they'll have Soul Dragon as a summon, this means you can now benefit from the full buffs that Sunday provides. For example, Sunday's skill will increase an ally's damage dealt by 30%, but if that ally has a summon, this will now additionally increase by 50%, resulting in an 80% damage boost from Sunday's skill, rather than only 30%. So characters that would normally only get that 30% boost can now take advantage of the full 80% boost instead. Additionally, Sunday will advance forward Soul Dragon when using his skill on the ally who is the bondmate. Dan Heng will be a very flexible sustain that you can slot into teams, ideally using him alongside an attack scaling DPS. And I have also released a bunch of showcases with Dan Heng on the channel for those who are interested in seeing how he is in action with varieties of damage dealers. But some examples you can consider using with Dan Heng is Anaxa, Feixiao, which Dan Heng does have follow-ups in his kit, which are useful for using him alongside Feixiao. You can use him with Saber, Phainon, Archer, the Herda, Jingyuan, the Damage Over Time team, Dr. Ratio, Acheron, and in the case of Acheron, you can consider using Trend of Universal Market on Dan Heng for getting Acheron more stacks for her ultimate. While some of the options I listed may have better best in slot options, Dan Heng is going to be a free sustain that offers great flexibility when it comes to his shielding. The attack buff will benefit attack scaling damage dealers, and then the benefits of Soul Dragon as well, of course. Even without Sunday, Dan Heng will still be able to provide great sustainability, which can be valuable for numerous teams, especially if you are currently struggling with sustainability and endgame. Now that we've gone over Dan Heng's kit as well as teams, you may be wondering, how do you build Dan Heng? You will want to go for the brand new shield relic set that recently released. This will be great for making his shield stronger, as well as also providing some crit damage for allies. If you don't have this relic set though, you can try Ordeal, as his skill will target one ally. You can also go with two-piece sets, going for attack, and so on. As for his planar options, I would recommend Lusaka the most, but you can use Broken Keel, Space Ceiling, or Penacony with a physical damage dealer. As for his main and substats, attack is very important for Dan Heng, as this is what his shields will scale off of, and the attack buff he gives to an ally as well. I would recommend Attack Body, Attacker Speed Boots, Attack Orb, and lastly Attacker Energy Regen Rope. As for his substats, your priority is attack and speed. When it comes to Dan Heng's light cone options, Dan Heng is a preservation character, but he scales off of attack, which means a lot of the current preservation light cones that provide defense aren't the greatest for him, since he is looking for attack and not defense. For his light cone options though, some options to consider would be his signature. You can go with the Venturine signature light cone, Gepard's light cone, Journey Forever Peaceful. Trend of the Universal Market can be used on Acheron teams, or you can consider using a non-preservation high base attack light cone. Unfortunately, you won't be able to take advantage of the full effects of the light cone due to it not being a preservation light cone, but you'll still be able to benefit from the attack stats of the light cone itself, which does benefit his shields, and this also benefits the attack buff for the bondmate. Some light cones with high base attack you can consider can be On the Fall of an Aeon as a free-to-play option, Brighter Than the Sun, In the Name of the World, Night on the Milky Way, and I would recommend looking for your light cones that have around 582 base attack or higher if it is a 5-star light cone. For example, Sleep Like the Dead has 582 base attack, while Brighter Than the Sun has 635 base attack, while On the Fall of an Aeon is only 529 base attack, but it is a completely free-to-play option. As for Dan Heng's signature light cone or his first Eidolon, both are honestly pretty good options, but I would lean a bit more towards E1 for the ult-type res pen for your main damage dealer. Then also the skill points can assist with skill point hungry teams. Ultimately though, both options are pretty good options you can consider if you want to invest even more into Dan Heng. But even at E0 S0, so no Eidolons and no signature light cone, he is still a great sustain option. And when it comes to building Dan Heng, I personally would recommend building him, as through my experience with him so far, his shields have been holding up quite nicely in endgame. You can also go check out my showcases to see how his shields are doing there as well. And this is also accounting for how hard enemies have been hitting as of late. And for those who do have Sunday, you can heavily take advantage of the cool synergy these two will be able to provide for your main damage dealer on your team. And even for those that don't have Sunday, Dan Heng will still provide great sustaining capabilities, which is valuable especially for those struggling in the current endgame modes, when it comes to sustainability overall. I'm pretty excited for Dan Heng's release and to be able to acquire him for free, and I'd love to know if you are excited for Dan Heng, if you'll be building him on release or not, and also if you do plan to build him, what team will you be using him on? That'll be all though for today's video. If you did enjoy, do make sure to subscribe, leave a like to support the video, and I hope to see you all next time. Bye bye!